Hello everybody, my name is Olivia Gudanitz and a very big welcome here to Elvis Stojko. How are you?
Excellent, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, and thanks for connecting with me today in your creative space.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
We are at a skating rink, so obviously I didn't think through my outfit today, so it's a little cold. But let's get down to business. By the end of this episode today, guys, you are gonna learn Elvis's tips and tricks on how to be confident, why he continues to aspire for more, and how his passions turned into his business. So if you guys are as excited as I am, hit that thumbs up and let's get started. So I just want to say first, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And after researching tons and tons of stuff, I found a lot of similarities between us.
Okay.
So first of all, we both have Mexican partners. Hola.
Hola.
We both love dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And we both have had people in our lives that have been affected with Alzheimer's. So I think we're gonna get along just fine. So Elvis has been performing since you were really young. I think you started skating at 4 years old?
About 4.5, 5 years old, yeah. Performing at about 6 or 7, I started competing. Started doing club shows when I was about 9 or 10 years old, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, do you think you were born a performer from birth?
That's a great question, and I think so. Going from skating to acting, performing on stage, performing on camera, whether it be movie, television show, theater, skating, we consider the skating rink the largest stage in the world, and it's all about performance. And I think that's one of my gifts that I'm supposed to show and share with people, and being a performer.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, you figured out your life purpose, I guess that's performing.
Yeah, and it's something that I didn't figure it out when I was a kid. It was just something I did. It wasn't until later when I started really working on the acting that I connected and was like, it's the performance that I'm connected to. That's what I really love. It's like when I'm watching a movie, it was not about, oh, I love this movie and I love being here. Yes, there's that part about it, but I always thought I wanted to be the person on the screen making other people feel the way they feel. Take them away from their regular day-to-day lives and take them to another place in time.
Yeah, makes sense. What tips and tricks can you give newcomers or people that have been doing it forever? How do you just zone into that zen? I want to know.
Well, it's martial arts really helped. I started when I was 10 years old, and it's really the focus. It's getting rid of the external factors that become a mental problem and removing what is not required at that time, what you don't need. So
it seems simple.
It seems simple, yes, it seems simple. So, for example, when I was competing in skating, so getting ready for a world championship, let's take that for example. I've done all my training, I'm getting ready for worlds, and I'm working on, the big thing are the jumps. You gotta be consistent. And that's where the big mistakes are usually. So what happens is I have these little gremlins, so if I'm going into a jump, they'll come about when there's pressure.
Right.
So I know that X, Y, and Z, these three little things like a shoulder going early or a takeoff on something with my leg.
Yeah.
So I focus on those. And I know that if I keep an eye on those, it'll equal success. So what I do is I don't think about, oh, I gotta perform great. I don't think of the big picture. I think of the detail, because I know if I do the detail correctly, the big picture will take care of itself. For example, another example is I'm going into a big race. Racing go-karts, I'm going to race national championships. I got a shot at going to the world championships. I'm not thinking about going to the worlds while I'm on the grid.
Right.
I'm thinking about turn 1 is good, turn 2, all the way to 10. I know my problem turns. I know where the breaking points are. I remember the cues that I learned in practice and my racecraft. That is all. I'm not thinking about the outcome.
Right.
The big problem in focusing and what people get caught up when the pressure's on, they think about the outcome. They drop everything, they drop the detail and think about the outcome and freak out about, what if I make a mistake? What are my parents gonna think? What are the people gonna think of me? What's gonna happen? And then that's when the adrenaline starts to come in, you get anxious, and then you freak out, and then everything
happens.
And then the nightmare happens. It's having the ability to block that energy of the anxiousness and focus solely on the detail, so that you treat every practice, every training session, every preparation exactly like it would be under pressure. Then you'll have success. Because if you don't practice that timing and that event before the event, you're never gonna get it. And then you have to make sure that you do a lot of those events under pressure as much as you can. The only way you get good at competition is competing. There's no other way. You can prepare all you want, and yes, you can be good, but you can prepare all you want, but unless you're under that, we all know, when you're under that pressure, there's nothing that will recreate it.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to prepare yourself the best you can and then test it under those conditions.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I mean, I've done a number of these interviews, I've done a number of auditions, and yet, even though we're not defined by one bad speech you give or one bad audition, I guess I put the pressure on myself. Yes, my life will continue if I screw up, but if I don't screw up, my life can change. It can get here, here, and here. So it's very interesting to hear your perspective on that. And yeah, I guess it's just practice, focusing on the details, not thinking about what the worst and the best outcome is while you're performing, and just focus on the actual performance. Do you have an alter ego that you use?
There's other aspects of myself that I love to explore in an acting class situation that I don't allow to come out all the time because you're self-conscious. And I loved working on those things to allow it to come out and show that side of myself. But the big thing is, what happens is usually under a pressure situation, the demons, your fears come to play. They don't show up usually in a practice situation when you're by yourself.
Yeah, because you're confident by yourself.
Absolutely, like you can do, like I've done tons of auditions and I go in and do it at home and it never ends up being exactly the same. And you don't want it to, because you want the moment to live, especially in an audition, right? Like when first time you did an interview, I'm sure you were nervous.
Oh my gosh, I was like looking here while I was asking the questions.
but now here, I'm gonna ask her a question now, that's Olivia a question. So now, if you were going to say, what was the best teacher, preparing or the actual experience of doing it? What was better for you? What'd you learn?
Of course, the experience, and it's good to look back on those videos now. Without that practice, I wouldn't be here. And people like you would not be coming to chat with me and agreeing to this interview. So thank you. Thank you, Jesus. So yeah, it's definitely practice, but still, even though I know what I'm gonna say, I know you're a great talker, there's still that, I guess, the element of surprise, which is exciting, but nerve-wracking at the same time, because I don't wanna screw this up, so. Anyways, let's talk about your authentic self. You've obviously found it for yourself, you're living it. How can other people tune into their authentic selves?
Okay, I'll just come out and say it. I don't follow society. I disconnect myself from what society wants. So typically, this is how I see it, is there's a programming that goes on. You're born, you go to school, you graduate, you get a job, you get married, you have your 2.5 kids, you pay your RSPs, you pay your taxes, you retire, and then boom, boom, boom. I didn't want to follow that mold. Ever since I was a kid, contributing to community and all that is one way of looking at it, but I feel like it's, at service to other people. But if I'm at service to myself first, and I do a great job at that, I use job, but it's a thing I do for me. Once I have that happiness first, automatically I infect everyone around me. Because I can't help other people. I can't help change other people for the better or show them anything unless I am following that path for myself. And it has to be that way. Number one is me first. Then the closest people, my wife, my best friend, my closest people around me, and then I infect everyone with the energy that I'm projecting naturally. So I've seen so many people, they're trying to help other people, yet their life is in shambles.
Right.
And they're preaching these things, but it doesn't connect because it's not coming from a true space. And you have to be, and then going back to the authentic thing, getting rid of the demons. This is a big one. It was, if your parents don't get rid of the demons, they pass them on to their children. Subconsciously they do. It's automatic. Whether you like it or not, you don't have to believe me, but it's true.
And we all, I think, have some sort of childhood traumas that maybe you're not even aware of.
And I don't blame my parents for them. They came from a different time. A lot, like my parents would be like grandparents for the people now my age. My parents are in their 80s. I have siblings that are much older. So their mental set is coming from World War II. There's a different mental set. So I came in with, survival mode. That was when my parents came here with nothing.
Mine too.
Yep, same idea. So that was implanted. So there's a lot of demons there. And I don't blame my parents for it. I have to figure it out on my own. They pass them on. You have to work hard and you do all your things. This is how you survive. Survival is key. I had to get rid of those systematically until I was completely clean of those demons. And then they creep up once in a while. There's fears there. It's always there. They keep you honest, in check. But clearing those up, and then from that point you can have that freedom to not worry about what other people think, that I'm following the path for myself, that I'm happy no matter what. I choose happiness. And before that, it's really choosing bliss. I had this talk with one of my friends about happiness and sadness. Those are choices, but bliss is just who we are, because it's the light energy, right? So bliss, it's no matter what. Whether it's a good day or a bad day, those are choices based on our experience. We choose that. When I'm working with a student or someone, I always ask them, what are your goals and what are you afraid of? Because I can't get them past what they're afraid of, because their fear is going to stop me helping them.
Right.
So I have to know that. So you have to know your fears, what those demons are, and you got to face them. And if you don't know what they are and there's blocking, you've got to do some soul searching, do meditation, talk to people, talk closest friends or a family member, whoever, to get rid of that and find your true calling, because we all came here for a reason.
100%.
It's one reason or another, and it's for you, because that gives you grounding and you feel good in your own skin. Then from there you can affect the people around you. And that's basically my philosophy.